Hi boys and girls, hope you're doing good. Our lesson today is about changes of state. Before we get started, I want you to open your science book, page 224. Alright, so let's begin. What happens when matter is heated? So what happens when matter is heated? A solid will melt if it's heated. A solid will melt if it is heated enough. To melt, the word melt means to change from solid to a liquid. Whatever I'm doing, underlining or highlighting, please do the same thing on your book. All right? Let's move. Okay. So, heating water. As you see this diagram, ice is water in its solid state, right? If the ice is heated, it will melt, just like this. It will melt, right? So a liquid, like this picture, will boil if it is heated to a high enough temperature. When a liquid boils, it changes from liquid to gas. It changes from a liquid to a gas. The gas is called what? The gas is called water vapor. Okay? Okay, let's move. So, a liquid can also evaporate. A liquid can also evaporate or turn into a gas without boiling. Yes, that's right. Yeah. The liquid can turn into a gas without boiling. That's called evaporation. So, let's see. Think about this picture here. Think about this picture, okay? So these are wet clothes hanging in a warm sun. The sun heats the water droplets in the clothes. So what happened? The water turns into a gas, right? Your clothes are dried out. Okay, just like this picture above. Okay, so again, the water in these clothes will evaporate in sunlight. Then the clothes will be dry. Let's solve together this quick check. So use the graphic organizer below to show how heat can change matter. I have cause and effect. So the cause is heat is added to a liquid at a very high temperature. What is its effect? So let's write together, when the liquid is heated, it changes from liquid to gas. All right, please write it down. Let's watch this video together. This video will help you to understand more of what happens when matter is cooled and what happens when matter is heated. Solid, liquid, and gas. A change in state happens when heat is added or it's cooled. Let's see. If we heat solid matter, it becomes liquid. We call this process fusion. If we heat liquid, it will turn into gas, right? This process we call it vaporization. These two processes can occur the other way. Let's see. This happens when we cool matter instead of adding heat. If we cool a gas, it becomes a liquid. This process is called condensation. If we freeze a liquid matter, it will become solid, right? This process is called solidification. Okay? Okay, here. What happens when matter is cooled? We saw how matter is heated, and now we're going to learn about what or how matter is cooled. So when matter is cooled, its temperature drops. This can also change the matter's state. So a liquid will freeze if it's cooled enough. To freeze means to change from a liquid to solid. All right? So to freeze means to change from a liquid into a solid. Look at this little girl. So she seems enjoying her ice pop, right? Okay, so an ice pop is a frozen juice. An ice pop is a frozen juice. Juice is liquid. What happened when we applied, when we freezed the juice? The juice is now become solid. All right, let's solve the quick check together. When matter freezes, again, when matter freezes, it turns from liquid, just like the juice, liquid, into a solid, just like the ice pop. Okay? Let's move. Okay. Now, a gas. A gas will condense if its temperature drops enough. So, to condense means to change from a gas to a liquid. Drops of water, as you can see here, drops of water may form on a grass on a cool morning. These drops are called dew. Dew forms when air cools. The water vapor in the air cools and condenses to form liquid water. Let's look at the spider web. These water drops you see here is called dew. All right? So, dew forms when water vapor in the air cools and condenses. Here, water vapor in the air touches these cold cans. The water vapor condenses. That's it. All right. Let's solve this quick check together. When matter condenses, it turns from gas, remember, gas, into a liquid. Okay. Here, how is water is different from other kinds of matter? Let's look at this picture. Okay, so most kind of matter shrink as they freeze. The particles of matter move closer together. However, water gets larger when it freezes. Its particles of matter move apart. Can you see the solid particles? Particles? Yes, they are more spread out than the liquid particles. As you can see here, the empty spaces form between the particles. Okay? So as water freezes, its particles form a new pattern. Empty spaces form between the particles. The frozen water takes up more space than the liquid water. So let's watch a video together and let's see the particles in the solid. A solid means that the atom is packed in really close together, so they cannot move. So it means the object holds its shape. All right, let's move to the last page. So ice floats, right? Ice floats in liquid water. This keeps lakes and ponds from freezing at the bottom. Okay? So as the ice melts, pieces of ice will float on the liquid water. So why ice floats? Because the frozen water takes up space than the liquid water. Okay? Again, as the ice melts, pieces of ice will float on a liquid water. Why? Because the frozen water takes up space more than the liquid water. Okay? So, did you know that living things can stay alive? Living things can stay alive under the ice? Did you know that? Let's move. Yeah, penguins can stay alive under the ice. Polar bears too. That's amazing. And of course, fish also can stay alive under the ice. So this is the last quick check. Circle the correct answer. What I want from you guys to do this quick check by your own, and if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message on Class Dojo. All right, so stay safe